Welcome to YOGATX. My name is Savannah, and today we're gonna do all of the things. We're gonna get everywhere in our body with a big emphasis on the side of our body today. So if you enjoy these like full body flows where we target everything and you don't want to be interrupted during your flow state, I encourage you to check out our yoga community, Yoga Vita. We'll have ad-free content, a bunch of exclusive stuff, fun project ideas. So, meanwhile, let's get started. We'll come towards the center of our mat and go ahead and find a comfortable position for your feet. Doesn't have to be anywhere in particular, just where your body feels most balanced, most sturdy, most stable. Letting your arms rest alongside your body. We'll start with the breath in, floating the back of your hands forward and up. You might feel a little lift in your rib cage as you do so. And as you exhale, bring your hands towards the front of your knees. Try to keep your chest reaching forward as you lower. And then at the last end of your exhale, allow the crown of the head to point down. Your whole spine flexes. Still a gentle bend in your knees. Next breath in, slide your hands up. Lead with your chest, lifting the arms forward and up again. As you exhale, hugging the low belly in, hands come to the front of the knees again. Keep breathing out as you slide down, chest leads, and then at the end of the exhale, letting that back round. We'll take that 2 more times. Let your arms feel soft, almost like feathers. They don't have to go straight up. Maybe they reach out with a little bend. And long exhale here. Notice if you can stay with your exhale until the end of your fold. Maybe that means you move a little quicker if your inhale or your exhale feels short. Last round, as you slide your hands there, all the way down, either towards the front of the knees, shins, or ankles. Pause there for a moment. Relax the weight of your head. See if the back of your neck can soften. And as gently as possible, letting gravity do most of the work, let your head turn from side to side. Keep that deep bend in your knees. Plant both hands in front of your toes on your next breath in, like you're picking up a 5-gallon bucket with your right arm. Pull your arm up towards the ceiling. Turn with your rib cage to the right. You might feel that right leg straighten just a little bit more. Then exhale, hands come down in front of the toes again. Breathing in, lift up through your left elbow. Keep pulling up, ribs rotate to the left. Left leg might straighten a bit more. Inhale, relax, hands down. We'll take it 1 more time on each side. Exhale, drawing up. Right side of the body lengthens. Notice the low back. How does it feel? Inhale, re-bend both knees. Exhale, left elbow lifts up this time. Most of the rotation comes from the ribs. Both hands come back down. On your next breath in, stretch your hands forward. Let yourself come all the way up to standing. And you might sweep your arms out wide and down as you breathe out. Let's step our feet out a little bit wider on our mat now. Rest your hands down by your sides. Feel the center of your chest lift up nice and proud without squeezing your shoulder blades together. Feel like your collarbones are just getting wider in space. On your next breath in, flip your right palm out. Let your right arm come alongside your right ear. There's a deep reach up at the top of your inhale. As you exhale, leaning over towards the left. Breathe in, reach back up through the right arm. And as you exhale, right hand comes down. So be patient with the breath. Left arm lifts up as you breathe in. Really reach up, lengthen that side of your body before you exhale and lean over to the right. Inhale back up through center. Exhale, left hand comes down. So I'll let you play with the length of your breath, aligning the length of your inhale with the time it takes for you to reach one arm up, the length of your exhale with the time it takes for you to move into that side bend. Inhale back up through center. Exhale, arm comes down. 1 more time, other side. Go ahead and turn your toes towards the top of your mat if you're facing the side of your mat. Left foot will be behind us. We're going to turn the left toes in just a bit. Seal that heel down. Right toes facing forward or facing wherever the knee is pointing. So if your knee is knocking in a bit, go ahead and just line up that toes. You want that relationship from your hip, knees, and toes to all be in line so there's no shearing force in the tissues. Take a breath in, arms reach out to the side. When you reach your arms out to the side, one in front of you, one behind you, that rotation comes from your rib cage rather than from your hip dragging the knee in. So try that. When you breathe in, rotate the ribs to the side. Reach one arm in front of you, one hand behind you. On your next breath out, bend your right elbow. Lower your right forearm down to your right thigh. On your next breath in, left arm comes alongside your ear. Go ahead and take a look up underneath your arm. Notice the sensation in the side of your body. If you start to feel that back arch collapsing, that back knee falling in, pinky side of your foot kind of lifting off the mat, press down through that pinky side of the foot and see if that changes the relationship from your hip to your rib cage, opening that space up. On your next breath out, draw your navel back towards your spine. Press your feet a little bit stronger down into the floor. Breathe in, reaching your left arm straight up towards the ceiling. We'll start to straighten the right leg, straighten your right arm down, look down to the right toes. Breathe in, side angle pose, right forearm to right thigh, left arm over your left ear, taking your gaze up. Stability in the feet and the legs as you exhale, lifting up and out of your pose, finding triangle pose, a deep lift up. Go ahead, exhale into side angle. Inhale up into triangle. Notice the turning of my head. So when I'm exhaling into side angle, my gaze goes upward. And as I'm breathing into triangle, my gaze goes down. Side angle one last time. Bring both of your hands down around your right foot. Lift up through your right heel. Lower your left knee down to the ground. Untuck your left toes. Take a deep breath in. Both arms come up over your head. On your next breath out, lower your right hand down like you're reaching back towards your left heel. So there's that rotation in the rib cage. Reach up through the left arm. Pause for 2 breaths in, 2 breaths out. If you feel like you'd like to reach for that back heel, you might tuck your back toe and reach back. Exhale, draw the navel in, spiral your arms around your right foot. That back toe, if it's not already tucked, go ahead and tuck your back toe. Press through the hands, step your right foot back. Let's take a downward facing dog. When you're in downward facing dog, can you feel any difference between the left side of your body compared to the right side of your body? Play with the positioning of your knees, the positioning of your feet, maybe a little bit wider than your hips. Those fingers, they might turn out towards the top corners of the mat. You might scoop the elbows in towards the midline like you're opening jars, mason jars, underneath the palms. Deep breath in. On your next breath out, step your feet up. Deep bend in your knees. Walk your hands over towards the left side of your feet. Really sit your hips back here. And then walking your hands over towards the right side. Keeping those hips sitting back towards the left. Walk your hands back around towards the left. Step your left foot to the back of your mat, toes facing forward. Bend your knees, reach your arms out, widen over your head as you breathe in. Exhale, palms to heart center. Pause here, press your thumbs into your heart. Feel that heartbeat, that breath moving through your body. And then as you're ready, turning your toes towards the back of your mat. Right foot this time turns in. Make sure that right heel can feel the ground underneath you. Take a moment to get settled in your feet. Line up your hips, knees, and toes on your left side. Again, if your toes or your knees are turning in, just match that effort. When you're ready, bring your hands to your ribs. Turn the ribs to the side of your mat, right side of the mat. Keeping that left knee pressing out. Breathe in, open your arms out. On your next exhale, bending your left forearm, lower your left forearm. Feel that tilt of the side body. Inhale, right arm comes over your right ear. It's a deep reach from your pinky toe to your pinky finger. Give yourself a moment or two to feel settled here. Maybe you switch the gaze up and down. We know that's coming. Imagine there's more effort, more stability in the legs than there is in the upper body. On your next inhale, reach your right arm up. Take your gaze down toward your left toes, straightening your left arm as you straighten your left leg. Lifted triangle pose. Feel like someone's lifting you up through the right fingertips. And next exhale, side angle, right arm over your right ear, left forearm on left thigh. See if you can do that with the breath. Inhale, triangle, right arm reaches up, left leg straightens. Exhale, side angle pose. 2 or 3 more times. Finding that gaze shift down to your toes as you inhale. Arms open up wide. Exhale, side angle. Can we try that one more time? Finding that lift in the torso. The lift through that right arm, connected to the left leg, strong line. Exhale into side angle pose. Turn your toes back towards the side of your mat. Breathe in, press your knees out, reach your arms up. As you exhale, straighten your legs. Turn your toes forward, slide your hands down, softening your knees, giving them a little bit of a bend as you rest here. Rock the body from side to side, keeping it closed chain, so hands on your shins, lower knees or ankles. And turn your toes to the back of your mat. Lower your right knee down. Take a strong breath in. Both arms lift up over your head. Start with that right foot pressing down into the ground, toe untucked. On your next breath out, reach your left hand behind you and your right arm up. Find that connection. Left shoulder hugging in towards your spine. Right glute is turned on. Keep reaching up through that right arm. If you want to try that lean back, you might tuck your right toes now. Control your reach back. Maybe you don't even rest your whole weight into it, but you're just finding that connection fingertip to heel. And on your next exhale, spiral your hands around your left foot. Pause for another breath in. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Wiggle your hips from side to side. Notice how the body feels here. Make adjustments in your down dog so that it fits your body today. If your upper shoulders are overworking here, give your elbows a little bend out to the side and scoop them in towards the midline. Really press through the outer edges of your hand. That inner edge of your hand between your thumb and your index finger might actually peel off the mat. And slowly lower your knees down to the ground. Untuck your toes. Sit your hips back. Take a breath in. Arms sweep up. On your next exhale, the fingertips come behind your hips. Plant your thumbs and spiral your fingers behind you. Take a couple breaths in and out here. If this is uncomfortable on your knees or ankles, I can show you another option with your feet forward. Same thing, plant your thumbs, spiral your fingers back. And if you're not already seated on your hips, if you're here, I'll meet you here. If not, come here, take a breath in, reach your arms over your head. As you exhale, straighten your left leg, hug your right heel a little bit closer towards your right hip. Press down through the back of your left heel and open your arms out wide. Right hand reaches behind you, left hand reaches in front of you. Flip your right palm up, flip your left palm up. Take an inhale, arms come up by the ears as you turn the chest to face your toes. As you exhale, reach right hand behind you, left hand in front of you, rotation through the ribs. 2 more times. So we're finding our active movement, our active twist. What's our active potential for twisting? Then the next time you exhale into that twist, Wrap your hands around your knee, and instead of hugging and torquing the joints in your spine, we're just coming to the twist that we could maintain and hold with our muscles. Plant your right hand behind your right hip. Reach your left arm up. On your next exhale, press down through your right foot. Hug the right shoulder blade toward your spine. Lift up. You might even wiggle your right toes forward to make more space to extend your hips. And on your next breath out, slowly bend the knees, bend your right elbow as you lower. Extend both legs forward, and we'll take a bend in our left knee this time, reaching forward through your right heel. You might give yourself a little bend in your right knee, pressing down through the back of the right heel, dragging back so you stay active in the back of the body. Breathe in, arms hug up towards the ears. As you exhale, left arm comes behind you, right hand comes in front of you. Notice which side is more interesting. I resist the urge to say, notice which side is your bad side, because the body hears everything we say. This one is a lot more interesting for me. Breathing in as the arms come up, exhaling as you find that active rotation throughout the rib cage. One more round. Exhale. Pause here, hug the navel back towards the spine. Rest your hands on the legs. Don't pull it, rest. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Plant your left hand behind your left hip. You might use that spiraling of your fingers back as a technique to hug your shoulder back. When you're ready, reach your right arm up. Press down through your left foot. Maybe that right arm reaches behind you. Wiggle your feet out so you find what allows you to balance best in your pose. Strong breath in. Bending your joints as you come down. So nice and controlled range of motion. Both legs come forward. Bend both of your knees. Reach both of your arms up. And as you exhale, lean back, open your arms out a little wider. Inhale, pull your chest up, pull your arms up. As you exhale and lean back, try to keep your chest lifted and pause when you're like, oh, core. One more time. Lean back and pause. When you find that core, have the sensation that the skin on the front of your belly is hugging in rather than bulging out. And use your exhale to hug that in. Inhale, ribs expand. On your next breath out, bring your right knee a little bit closer towards your chest. Option on your next exhale, bend your left knee. Breathe in, reach your arms up alongside your ears. As you breathe out, plant your feet, reach your hands forward, feel the tailbone tuck under, start to sink your ribs back towards your spine. Breathe in, hands reach up as the spine lifts up. Every time we exhale, we're lowering, curling back until we're like, if I went any more, my toes would fly up and I'd go all the way back. So we're coming to that point of challenge and lifting up again. As we lower more and more, create some slack in the front line of your body by tucking your toes back, flexing your toes back, and see if that allows you to go any further. Breathing in, point the toes, lift your arms up. Exhale, flex your toes back. Hands reach forward. Starts with the tailbone tucking, then the low back, middle back, upper back. Inhale all the way back up. Point your toes, plant the feet. Last round. If you're laughing with yourself, not at yourself, because this is really hard and you keep flopping back, that's okay. Reach your arms over your head. Nice and big breath. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Draw your knees towards the chest and rock your legs from side to side. Go ahead and straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Plant your left leg on the ground. Let your navel lead your twist towards the left. With control, right leg comes down. Notice how this feels on your low back and your outer hip. If you're here and this is a no-go for you, maybe you bend your right knee up. Maybe you stack your knees, anything that feels good. Just a little opportunity to explore. Pause here for a couple breaths. You might even rest your left hand on your outer right thigh. Noticing where your left foot is on the floor. Flex your left toes. Take a breath in, opening your arms back out wide. And as you exhale, lead with your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then the left knee follows. We'll settle right foot down on the floor. Take a breath in, left leg extends up, toe is flexed back, right leg stays down so that when you exhale and twist, you've got a place of stability. Left leg comes over, notice which side is more interesting, and then find the variation of twist that works best for you. Everything that I bring you is a prompt, and you get to decide how these poses get expressed through your body. I always like to remind folks that deeper isn't always better. Find your Goldilocks spot. Next breath in, flex your right toe, lead with your left leg up towards the ceiling, right knee follows. Plant both feet, give your knees a little hug into your chest. Move your knees in some circles. Find that comfortable range of motion for you. Then connect the soles of your feet. Press the soles of the feet together. Bring your hands down onto your abdomen. Notice the low back and the back of the ribs where they are on the mat. And if I were to ask you to slowly lower your heels, could you do that independent of any change in your spine? So could you do that without changing the position of your spine? Instead, keep the low back ribs where they are. You might even hug the ribs in, hug the navel back, and notice, what would it feel like to try to lower my feet and then draw them back? We'll make a little flow out of it. As you breathe in, lower your heels about halfway. Keep the back of your ribs down as you reach your arms overhead. Exhale, reach for the sides of your feet. Hug your heels towards you. And open up for happy baby as you breathe in. Flex your toes back. Your hands can be on the outside of your feet. Another option is on the back of your thighs for more support. There's our inhale as you exhale. Feet come together. Breathe in. Back of the body stays stable. Lower your heels halfway. Stretch your arms over your head. Exhale. Feet come towards you. Find your variation of happy baby pose as you breathe in. Exhale, feet together. Press your feet together as you breathe in. Lower the heels halfway. If you feel this in your back, lower a quarter of the way. Reach your arms over your head. We'll take 2 more rounds together. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. That's 1 round. And breathe out. Lower your heels down to the ground. So I'm going to hug my knees in, and then I'll release my knees out to the side. Even here, you might notice, can I keep my low back and the back of my ribs stable? What you'll notice is when people come into this pose, what they don't have, whatever range they don't have in their hips, will borrow from their back. And if we're constantly in this lifted anterior tilt in the back, this might not be the most comfortable place for you to be in your yoga practice if you're there in your everyday life. So just play with finding that stability in the back, finding that opening in the hips. You might even wiggle your feet a little bit farther away from your hips. Notice if that allows your back to settle. Taking your last few rounds of breath here until we move into our final relaxation. Now, when you stay in a pose like this, you're asking your body to release muscles in some area. So this pose, we're asking the inner thighs to relax. So what I noticed, both in myself and my students who practice, if we stay here too long in a passive way, which means we're not here at the end range with our strength, we're just kind of letting our knees flop out. When you go to pull the knees back together, you might be like, oh, something is catching, because you've just convinced these things to turn off. And then when you ask the knees to come on, it takes a couple seconds for them to come back online. So one thing I've learned to kind of get around that is lift one knee up, bring your knees together, and then lift both knees up. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock the body from side to side. Lower your feet down to the mat. You might stretch your legs out long on the mat if that's comfortable for you. Maybe now you're a little bit more aware about what happens to your back when you extend your legs or flex the legs. And even when you're here, if you feel that lift of the back and any crunchiness in your low back, you might return to that knees bent position. Whatever feels most relaxing for your body. Take 8 to 12 breaths here. And the first 5 breaths will just be about landing in your breath with awareness. Noticing where the breath goes. Finding that complete exhale. Creating stability in the body by feeling the support of the floor. And consistently drawing the breath in and out. And last 3 breaths allow you to sink in. Feel the beauty of the breath alone. How much it could stir up from the inside out. Watch how the inhale welcomes a sense of expansion, lightness in the body. How the exhale might be a grounding force for the mind. And slowly pull your knees towards the chest. You might choose to stay in your final relaxation for a bit longer. Or if you're ready to come up to a seat, take your time doing so. Feel the body again. Notice what's been shaken up, what's moved around. The yoga practice can be kind of like a shaking of a snow globe, watching everything move around, get displaced from where it was, and then watching everything land back in its right place. That's a good feeling. Thank you so much for practicing. I would be super curious where you're practicing from. I always wanted to travel and teach yoga, and then I realized I love home. I love gardening too much. I love my dogs. So this is my way of reaching out into the rest of the world, and I want to know, where am I on your screen? Can I live vicariously through your laptop or through your computer? I think I can. Thanks so much for practicing. Namaste.